nitrous, no anti-lag.
It takes a lot to scan. Oh no!
So apparently this could solve all our issues. This tiny little board.
Hello. As you can see, I'm back in the United States. Long story short, my visa ended. I only had it for 90 days. I went there kind of praying that the borders would open up for like my long-term, like year-long visa and so on and so forth. But so we weren't able to submit for a longer visa, and so I had to come back and try to get another one. If you guys have been following along and watching the videos, any of the videos honestly from Japan, first I want to talk about kind of what my plan was going into Japan. Like, why did I even think this was a good idea and want to do it? So I was based here in Arizona. Basically before the whole spicy cough thing, I was working on other businesses that were helping support the racing, and I was trying to go down that road, had Jameson and Aaron, and I was like, I really need to focus on building up the YouTube channel first, building up the merch, get this thing successful, and then we can get back to competition. Obviously the Pro Drifter Reacts videos worked. I use that title because this is my career, right? I'm not saying that I'm better than these guys I'm reacting to, but I think it's interesting for more casual viewers, not guys that are great at drifting, people that really don't even drift at all, to see kind of what it takes to do what they're doing. And so I'm just breaking down what they're doing. I know that some of the community has taken it really negatively and thought I was putting myself on a pedestal, but I can't really help that. So fast forward some, we're drifting on our own, not with anyone else, and just trying to make videos, giving her everything we got. I came to the point where we were able to go drifting with other people. But when I looked at my situation here, I just didn't see the future being a YouTuber and drifting based in Arizona. You know, I got some major heat for the way people interpreted what I said about the grassroots community. Here in Phoenix, Arizona, they cut it out. What I was saying was that here in Arizona, there's not an opportunity for drivers to really progress. There are some great drivers down here, but we only have events maybe once a month at Wild Horse. Those guys do their best to put on events, but it's not like you can go drifting every week. If you're in California or Florida or some of these other like drifting hubs where a lot of pros are, you can go drifting every week with great people and you can really advance. Obviously the guys that were hating on what I said aren't gonna watch this section of the video. You know, I apologize for anyone who took it that I was saying I'm better than all the grassroots drifters and I don't see any value in it. It was that if I want to go drifting every week here, I'm not going to have anyone to go drift with. And so that was the point. And then I talked about moving to California or Florida, and that's kind of where the whole Japan thing came about. I've always wanted to live there part-time. I fell in love with the country. There, you know, everything is much closer together, it's smaller. It's like a big ass California in a way with tons of tracks that are all only a couple hours from each other. Looking at the whole thing, I was like, I think the best move for me right now is either go to California, Florida, or Japan. I thought that it would be really cool for myself because it's what I wanted to do, as well as for the YouTube to go to Japan and put out some really unique content. But it did not go as planned. So I contacted Formula Drift, told them that I wanted to compete in FD Japan. You don't have the massive setups, so you don't need as many guys there. Overall, in theory, it should be much more affordable than doing Formula Drift here in the US. I kind of want to do like a big push, do Formula Drift Japan, be drifting there in Japan, living there, and try to blow up this YouTube channel and finally make this thing successful. And so I was like, let's give it, you know, kind of one last hoorah. Let's do FD Japan and just blow this YouTube channel up. So I contacted Formula Drift, told them I wanted to drift in FD Japan. I was like, would you guys allow me to do it? And they were like, yeah. For whatever reason, they put me in Formula Drift Pro. I did not ask for that. I just want you guys to know that. I do think that I'm capable of competing in Formula Drift Japan Pro. The top like 8 guys are really insane, but if you look at like the whole spread, it's a much wider spread than here in the US. Like the bottom guys are more like pro spec level cars and driving. I believe that's why they put me in there, and I talked to a couple Formula Drift Pro drivers and they agreed. They're like, you know, you did pro spec, you can drive on that level. They figured that it would be good enough to drive in Formula Drift Pro. I think they also gave me a bit of a chance. They knew that that would be a bit more interesting. There's 6 events and it'd be cooler for the YouTube. And so that's kind of that. So the next thing I asked him, I need some support over there. You can handle a grassroots car, you know, take care of it yourself and transport it around, but a pro drift car and a practice car and trying to do YouTube and all this stuff, I need some help. Something would have to give. I'd have to do less YouTube videos, the cars aren't gonna get taken care of, or I'm not gonna be driving all that much. And so talking to him, I was like, I need some support. And that's how I got hooked in with the company that I was working with over there for support. With that in mind, when I talked to them, they proposed that they take care of the car. They told me they'd helped another Formula Drift Japan driver there and in the US. I talked to a couple other people about them and they said that they were good people. Because they were recommended directly from Formula Drift, I figured I was good. The problem is the recommendation was not for them to take care of the car. It was for them to help me put the program together and talk to people. You know, being fair, I think that they may have saw an opportunity. You know, this would be cool if we could take care of the car and help them, but they've never done this before. They're not a race shop. This is their first year taking care of a pro level car. And but I didn't feel like I really had a choice. I kept going back to the fact that they were recommended to me from some people, but they weren't recommended for taking care of the car. And that was kind of the main issue. If you guys watched the last 3 months, it was just cars having problems, stuff getting broken, just ridiculousness. It's just really due to lack of experience. I'm not trying to trash anybody here. This would be a different video if that was the case. But I am getting the truth out and letting you guys know, like, it's time to put a stop to this whole thing. I try my best to work with these guys, but there's just no future and I can't continue like this any further. With that in mind, I have to find a new shop. It's middle of the season. It's the day before Sportsland Sugo. I've known this for a week, by the way. I've been back in the US for 1 week. But you know, these last 3 months, they just made me hate drifting. All I did was just have problems every time I went and sit and work on the car and did work that was supposed to be done in the shop. Just chasing problems that you shouldn't even have. That is just ridiculous. I can't do that any longer. It has killed the YouTube channel. Like, you guys aren't enjoying the videos, and I don't blame you at all. They've been nothing but depressing. For those of you that have stuck around and watched them and been supportive, like, thank you so much. I honestly don't know why you've stuck around, because I'm not providing you guys with much entertainment. But going forward, I'm at kind of a turning point here, or a crossroad, let's say. The YouTube's not where it should have been if I'd had some success over there in Japan and been able to make some better videos. Going forward, I'm not going to be competing in Sportsland Sugo. I think that's an obvious. I do not know about the future rounds at this point. Right now, I need to find a new shop for support. I haven't found one yet. It's mid-season, so that makes it really hard to find shops, the ones that take care of multiple cars. You know, to toss another car in and another person is kind of crazy mid-season. So I don't know right now the future of Formula Drift Japan for this year. What I do know is I want to have fun drifting again. Right now, like, I could go back to Japan, try to find a new shop, just struggle there for a while until I do, or I could go drifting here now. I have a working car here in the US, so stay tuned. Next week will be a huge announcement. I appreciate all your guys' support so far. If you do want to support us further, check out our merch, haugenracing.com. Hit that subscribe button, check out this video. Peace.